There's so much conflicting advice out there and a lot of weird, unnecessary pressure to be everywhere and do all the marketing strategies all of the time. This episode is all about how to make some of those marketing decisions in a way that makes sense for you. Well, let's dive in. The first few years of doing business, I had zero idea how to market. I was learning copywriting, I was learning marketing, I was doing all the things at the same time. And because I didn't know enough about marketing and my style of marketing, I was listening to what other people were doing, following the advice that I was getting on the internet, and trying to do all of the things that I thought I should be doing, right? And it took a while for me to really streamline and simplify to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I have a solid marketing funnel now. Like, I could write out all of the pieces of my funnel and show you the exact marketing strategy in like a nice flow chart, because at this point, every single thing that I am creating, it's strategic, it's intentional, and there's a goal behind it, right? Like, everything is made with intention and some thought behind it. It's not just like, hey, I'm showing up on Instagram just to show up on Instagram, or I'm showing up on LinkedIn just to show up on LinkedIn, or I'm emailing just to email. It's like, how do all of these individual pieces of my marketing work together in a way that's going to make sense not only for me and my capacity in the season that I'm in, but also for my audience, for my clients, right? What do they really look for in my marketing? Like, what is it that is keeping them around? And so that's something that has evolved over time, and it really did take a long time for me to get to the point where I felt like I was done just trying a bunch of crap and finally realized, like, okay, these are my strengths and this is where I'm going to streamline, this is where I'm going to simplify, and this is what feels good. And it's okay if you're in that phase of trying out a bunch of different things, but it is worth at some point taking the time to pause, and especially if you're at a season where you're like, oh, I kind of want to add something in. I spoke to somebody recently who's like, well, I want to add email marketing into my system, and it's really pausing and being like, well, why are you adding it in? What's the purpose that it's going to serve? How is it going to support your audience? And really being intentional about why the pieces even exist in the first place, that's going to make it a lot more effective when you're actually going out there and doing the marketing. For me, I got off Instagram, and that was a really great lead source for me, except it wasn't really the right types of leads that I actually wanted to be working with. And it was also burning me out, because as somebody who's very introverted and being on camera tires me out a little bit, having to push myself into doing these big Instagram launches and signing clients in that way. Yes, it was working, but it was burning me out, and it was taking the joy out of like business and helping people, and it wasn't sustainable for me. And so looking at what is your marketing system right now? What is working? Where can I simplify? What things are actually helping me get new clients, and what things are not helping me get clients? What things am I just wasting time on? And being realistic about, the season you're in, your capacity. And it's funny looking back at the past 3+ years of building this business. I have tested so many different things. I've tried emailing every single day. I've tried emailing weekly. I've tried big Instagram launches. I've tried different freebies. I've tried different bundles and collaborations for my email list, different offers. I tested a lot of stuff that I have now cut out because those things didn't work, or they didn't align with how I wanted to work. But within all of that testing and experimentation, I really found what's my rhythm, what's something that works, and what's something that I can just do over and over again. And not to say that like I have the perfect system. No, I am always a believer in like tweaking and refining and making things better over time. But I've only gotten to this place that I am now because I've been tweaking and refining over time. And so really noticing, really pausing, looking at your marketing system, seeing what are the things that you're doing, what are the things that are actually worthwhile, and Where are the places that you can either refine or simplify? For me, I always think that I want to do more than I actually want to do. Like, I get super excited about a bunch of different ideas, and then I have to reel it back because I have to be real with myself about what my capacity is and how much time I actually have to devote to new projects. And this is one place where having business friends is really helpful because they can be a really good soundboard when you're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing like XYZ, and they're like, hey, you're actually doing too much. And so taking that time to pause and say, hey, what's the goal? Is this aligned with my goal? Is this going to help me reach that goal? When I think about adding things to my marketing, like I have been thinking about my blog. My blog is a dream that will happen someday. I just have never had the capacity. I need to ask myself, is this aligned with my values? Do I have the capacity? And is it something that I'm going to enjoy doing? And sometimes saying this is not the right time is actually the best decision. And for me with my blog, I am not giving up on that dream, but I also need to be realistic about, hey, if I'm writing a book and I'm doing my email marketing and I'm showing up on LinkedIn and I'm doing all of these things, do I actually have the capacity to sit down and write a blog post that's going to be helpful and useful for my audience? And at this point, it is not. So it's like I would rather do less really well than try to do too much and not actually do any of those really well. And so if you are struggling with your marketing decision making and you are wondering, should I do this? Should I do that? And you aren't sure how to make those decisions, there's two things to kind of think about. One is your messaging, which is, are you saying the right things? And then two is your strategy. This is where the decisions happen. Where is that message coming into play? How are you getting your message in front of your people? Those two pieces are key for your marketing. And so when you write out your marketing plan and you're thinking about what's working and what's not working, maybe you have the strategy and you feel good about your capacity and how you're showing up, and you just need to tweak your message and how you talk about your offers. Or maybe your messaging is on point, but you need to think about your strategy where you want to show up someplace else, or you're feeling really overwhelmed and you don't have the capacity to show up in all of the places. And so maybe you have to take a step back and really pause and see what's working and what's not working. Or maybe you're doing both things really, really well. Usually when I talk to clients, it's not that you need a whole overhaul of your strategy. It is these like little pieces of where can you tweak, where can you refine, where can you simplify, and making those small tweaks over time is really what's going to help you build a sustainable marketing system, because you are collecting data as you go about what works and what doesn't work, and that allows you to make better decisions. And so that is one of the things that we do inside Copy Classroom, where we have messaging strategy calls to really hone in on the message around your offer and how you're positioning your offer as the right choice for your ideal clients. And then we also have our monthly strategy session where you are thinking about, where are you showing up? How are you showing up? Do you have the capacity to keep showing up in the ways that you've been showing up? Those are 2 calls that happen monthly inside Copy Classroom. So if you are looking for some decision-making support around your marketing, check out Copy Classroom. And if you are feeling overwhelmed with your marketing, just remember, you don't need something super complicated. You don't need to be in all of the places at once. You just need a simple system, some clear goals, and a way to make those decisions so that you can make them and move forward and not stay stuck where you are. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a business friend. Don't forget to follow the podcast and leave a review if it was helpful. And until next time, thanks for listening.